Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati-ruttama-shloke Bhaktir-bhavati naishtike Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnana-anjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri-gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya-manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa-kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna-prishtaya bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 3, Chapter 25, The Glories of Devotional Service. So, we are at the text 22 now. The beautiful description of devotional service is being here. So, we will recite this verse. We have recited once, but these are very beautiful verses. Mayyananya bhavena
Mayyananya
bhaktim kurvanti te ye dridam
bhaktim kurvanti drudha
matkrite tyaktva karmanas
matkrute karmana
tyaktva svajana bandhavah. Translation.
Such a sadhu engages in staunch devotional service to the Lord without deviation. For the sake of the Lord, he renounces all other connections, such as family relationships and friendly acquaintances within the world. Purport. A person in the renounced order of life, a sannyasi, is also called a sadhu because he renounces everything: his home, his comfort, his friends, his relatives, and his duties to friends and to family. He renounces everything for the sake of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A sannyasi is generally in the renounced order of life, but his renunciation will be successful only when his energy is employed in the service of the Lord with great austerity. It is said here, therefore, bhaktim kurvanti ye drudha. A person who seriously engages in the service of the Lord and is in the renounced order of life is a sadhu. A sadhu is one who has given up all responsibility to society, family, and worldly humanitarianism simply for the service of the Lord. As soon as he takes his birth in the world, a person has so many responsibilities and obligations to the public, to the demigods, to the great sages, to the general living beings, to his parents, to the family, forefathers, and to many others. When he gives up all such obligations for the sake of the service of the Supreme Lord, he is not punished for such renunciation of obligation. But if, for the sense gratification, a person renounces all such obligations, he is punished by the law of nature.
Mai ananya bhavena. With undeviated mind, ananya bhavena. Bhavena is bhaktim. Bhaktim kurvanti ye dridam. They perform very intense devotional service. Matkrite tyaktva karmanas. They give up their occupational duty. Tyaktva svajana bandhava. And also give up their family relationships and the friendly acquaintances, svajana and bandhava. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, these are the symptoms of the sadhu in the renounced order of life. Right. We can have a sadhu in the grihastha setup. So we have seen the sadhu in the grihastha setup in previous purports. Now here there is example of sadhu in the renounced order of life. So such a sannyasi is also called as a sadhu because he gives up his home, comfort, friends, relatives, and duty towards friends and one's family. And with staunch determination, bhaktim kurvanti dridam, he will be engaged in devotional service with great austerity. This is very important. That great austerity, extremely hardworking, he will be engaged in devotional service. Just like we see Srila Prabhupada's life. Extreme hard work. Prabhupada used to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning. 1 to 5 used to translate. And then his day used to begin for other things, chanting his own 16 rounds, then, going for morning walk, giving classes, solving, the managerial issues, giving directions, writing letters every day, right? And then giving preaching programs, visiting so many houses, temple construction, the misunderstandings between the devotees, so on and so forth. So very extremely relentless effort that Srila Prabhupada put in to have this ISKCON as a mission everywhere. He is a sadhu. Prabhupada says whenever somebody is born in this material world, he is born with many obligations. Devarshi bhutaptandranam pitrunam. We are obligated to the devas, rishis, nrinam, the various kings, pitrunam, our pitaras, the forefathers, and one has to repay these debts by following certain processes. One is obligated otherwise. But the sadhu, because he has taken full shelter of the Supreme Lord, because all these debts are being considered repaid in full simply by service to the Supreme Lord. But Prabhupada says, but if one is not engaged in devotional service, one has to repay these debts, otherwise he will be punished. Now, next we come to text 23. What are the activities of such a sadhu? We'll recite this. Madashraya katha mrishta
Madashraya
Katha
Katha
Kṛṣṇa
shrunvanti kathayanti cha
Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam
Srīmad-Bhāgavatam
Canto
शृण्वन्ति कथयन्ति च
tapanti vividhastapa
Tapanti
तपन्ति
Vidastapa
विविधास्ताः
naitan madgata chetasah.
Naitam Madhyata
नैतान्
Chetasah
मद्गतचेतसः
Translation.
engaged
Engaged
Yes,
constantly
Prabhuji.
chanting and hearing about me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sadhus do not suffer from material miseries because they are always filled with thoughts of my pastimes and activities. Purport. There are multifarious miseries in material existence, those pertaining to the body and mind, those imposed by other living entities, and those imposed by natural disturbances. But a sadhu is not disturbed by such miserable conditions because his mind is always filled with Krishna consciousness, and thus he does not like to talk about anything but the activities of the Lord. Maharaj Amrish did not speak of anything but the pastimes of the Lord. Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanu Varnate, Bhagavatam 9.4.18. He engaged his words only in glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sadhus are always interested in hearing about the activities of the Lord or his devotees, since they are filled with Krishna consciousness. They are forgetful of the material miseries. Ordinary conditioned souls, being forgetful of the activities of the Lord, are always full of anxieties and material tribulations. On the other hand, since the devotees always engage in the topics of the Lord, they are forgetful of the miseries of material existence.
Madashraya katha mrishta. They take ashraya in my katha. Now, ashraya is a very, very deep word. Madashraya, right? They seek shelter in my katha mrishta. Shrunvanti kathayanti cha. And they hear, and because they are hearing about Krishna katha, Shrunvanti, naturally, they are also going to speak about Krishna katha. Whatever you hear, that is what you are going to speak. This is as simple as that, right? Shrunvante, hearing leads to chanting, or Shravanam leads to Kirtanam. What is the result of such hearing and chanting? Tapanti vividhastapa naitan madgata chetasa. Because their chetasa, their mind is fixed in me. tapanti vividhastapa. There are various material miseries, but these devotees, the sadhus, do not suffer the material miseries because they are always filled with the thoughts of my pastimes and activities. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains material world means multifarious miseries, and therefore we see Trishula. Durga Devi is carrying this Trishula. Shula means pain. Trishula means there are three types of pain. What are these three types of pain? Adhyatmika, Adhibhautika, and Adhidaivika. Adhyatmika means miseries coming from one's body and mind. Adhidaivika means miseries coming from the demigods. And Adhibhautika means you go to celebrate some cricket a trophy, and you get stampeded and you just get killed upon, right? So this is miseries causing by other living entities. So these are the three types of miseries. What a utter waste of human form of life that you go to celebrate Bangalore's win. In the team hardly there is any Bangalorean. People just join there based on who pays what, based on your auction, and you destroy your human form of life. 11 killed and 33 injured, and 2 are in ICU, right? And these numbers are thrown just to, just to mitigate the reaction. This is all, it's all about headline management. So these are the three miseries of material existence. But a sadhu, because his mind is always filled with Krishna consciousness, he will transcend those miseries. Now this theme in Bhagavatam will come again and again. There is example of Ambarish Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada quotes. Ambarish Maharaj did not speak anything about anything except the pastimes of the Lord. Vachamsi Vaikuntha Gunanuvaranane. And because of this life, he was always on a transcendental position. Even when such a huge misery came in his life, inflicted by Durvasa Muni, being envious of Ambarish Maharaj, and he completely transformed that situation into a great experience of Krishna consciousness. Right. Srila Prabhupada writes one very powerful point later. Sadhus here means devotees, are always interested in hearing about the activities of the Lord or his devotees. They are filled with Krishna consciousness, and thus, because they are full in Krishna consciousness, they are forgetful of material miseries. So it is not that devotees don't have problems, right? Neither devotional service is so cheap that Krishna says, oh, you do some bhakti here and there will be sukha sampatti ghar aave, dukkha mite tanaka. That kind of trade-off is not there in pure devotional service, where we are just reading every day, and for each page of reading Bhagavatam, our bank balance is increasing by 5 lakh rupees every day. Just imagine how many people will join the reading. So it is not that devotees don't have material miseries. Devotees also have miseries. They are reduced miseries because they are obedient children of the Lord, but they do have miseries, right? But in spite of the miseries, because their heart is filled with Krishna Katha, they are always in ecstasy. So Prabhupada writes here, since they are filled with Krishna consciousness, they are forgetful of material miseries. Ordinary conditioned souls, being forgetful of activities of Lord Krishna, are always full of miseries and material tribulations. So what this means is we have to fill our mind with something. It is either we fill our mind with material miseries and the material consciousness, or we fill our mind with spiritual consciousness. But the mind has to be filled. And if we do not actively fill our mind with spiritual consciousness, it will be naturally filled with material consciousness. Right? So this is fill and forget. So if we fill our mind with Krishna, we will forget the material miseries. There is a beautiful verse about, Prahlad Maharaj. What is Magna Chitta? What is that verse? Shoche tatho vimukha chetasa indriyarthan maya sukhaya bharam udvaha. What is the first line? Udvahato vimudha. He says this, very beautiful verse it is. Okay, we'll just come to that verse. So, Prabhupada says, on the other hand, since the devotee is always engaged in the topics of the Lord, they are forgetful of the miseries of material existence. Right? Very, very, very amazing point. Madashraya katha mrishta shrunvanti katayanti cha tapanti vividastapa naitan madgata chetasah. Very similar to madchitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam. Right, very deep verses of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Text 24. We'll recite this one. Ta ete sadhava sadhvi
ete hai
Ete
sadhava
Sadhava
sadhvi
sadhvi
sarvasanga vivarjita
sarvasanga
Sarvasanga
vivarjita
vivarjita
sangasteshvat athat te prarthyah
sangasteshvyatate
sangaste
prarthya
sangadoshharahite.
sangadoshaharahite.
harahite.
Translation.
O my mother, O virtuous lady, these are the qualities of great devotees who are free from all attachment. You must seek attachment to such holy men, for this counteracts the pernicious effect of material attachment. Purport: Kapila Muni herein advises his mother Devahūti that if she wants to be free from material attachment, she should increase her attachment for the sadhus, or devotees who are completely freed from all material attachment. In Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter verse 5, it is stated, who is qualified to enter into the kingdom of Godhead. It is said there, Nirmana moha jita sanga dosha. This refers to one who is completely freed from the puffed up condition of material possessiveness. A person may be materially very rich, opulent, or respectable, but if he at all wants to transfer himself to the spiritual kingdom, back home, back to Godhead, then he has to be freed from the puffed up condition of material possessiveness, because that is a false position. The word moha used here means the false understanding that one is rich or poor. In this material world, the conception that one is very rich or very poor, or any such consciousness in connection with material existence is false, because the body itself is false or temporary. A pure soul is prepared to be freed from this material entanglement, must first of all be free from all the association of the three modes of nature. Our consciousness at the present moment is polluted because of association with the three modes of nature. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, the same principle is stated. It is advised, Jita Sangha Dosha. One should be freed from the contaminated association of the three modes of material nature. Here also in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, this is confirmed. A pure devotee who is preparing to transfer himself to the spiritual kingdom is also freed from the association of the three modes of material nature. We have to seek the association of such devotees. For this reason, we have begun the International Society for Kṛṣṇa Consciousness. There are many mercantile, scientific, and other associations in human society to develop a particular type of education or consciousness, but there is no association which helps one to get free from all material association. If anyone has reached the stage where he must become free from this material contamination, then he has to seek the association of the devotees, wherein Krishna consciousness is exclusively cultured. One can thereby become freed from all material association. Because a devotee is freed from all contaminated material association, he is not affected by the miseries of material existence. Even though he appears to be in the material world, he is not affected by the miseries of the material world. How is it possible? There is a very good example in the activities of the cat. The cat carries her kitten in her mouth, and when she kills a rat, she also carries the booty in her mouth. Thus, both are carried in the mouth of the cat, but they are in different condition. The kitten feels comfort in the mouth of the mother, whereas when the rat is carried in the mouth of the cat, the rat feels the blows of death. Similarly, those who are sadhava or the devotees engaged in Krishna consciousness in the transcendental service of the Lord do not feel the contamination of the material miseries, whereas those who are not devotees in Krishna consciousness actually feel the miseries of material existence. One should therefore give up the association of materialistic person and seek the association of persons engaged in Krishna consciousness. And by such association, he will benefit in spiritual advancement. By their words and instructions, he will be able to cut off his attachment to material existence. Hare Krishna.
Ta ete sadhava sadhvi. So he's saying, my dear mother, O sadhvi, O virtuous lady, these are the qualities of the great devotees who are free from all attachment. Which are the qualities of the great devotees? So these qualities are explained in text 21, 22, and 23. Titikshava, Karunika, Surdas Sarvadehinam, Ajata Shatro Shanta. So text 20, Kapila Muni says, my dear mother, get attached to the association of devotees. And who are these sadhus? They are being explained in 21, 22, 23. So these are the qualities, text 21 to 23. Who are free from all attachment. You must seek attachment to such holy men, for this counteracts the pernicious effects of material attachment. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, Kapila Muni is advising his mother Devahūti that if at all you want to be free of material attachment, you have to increase your attachment to the sadhu, and especially those who are completely free from material attachments. Right. And then Srila Prabhupada very elaborately quotes Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Nirmana moha jita-saṅga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama dvandvair vimukta sukha dukkha sandhyair gacchantya amudha padamavyayam. So Srila Prabhupada writes, Nirmana moha means false identification. And one has to be free from the false identification. Beginning of the false identification is, I am the body. And from that bodily beginning, then there is another beginning, that I am rich or small, I am Tamil or Kannadiga, and then, then there are other misidentifications, which will come one after another. So this is moha. Prabhupada says our consciousness at the present moment is polluted by the association of three modes of material nature. And this is the dosha. And we have to conquer this dosha, jita-saṅga dosha. And one has to be free from this association of three modes of material nature. And when one is free from how to be free from the association of three modes of material nature? By associating with devotees. And this is the primary reason, Prabhupada says, why we have started ISKCON. Later in the NOI, Upadesh Amrit, where this verse is there, Dadati Pratigrannati, Guyamakhyati Prachati, Bhungte Bhojayate Chaiva, Shadvidham Priti Lakshanam. Prabhupada writes, these are the 6 loving exchanges amongst the devotees. And we have established ISKCON so that we can facilitate the loving exchanges amongst the devotees, which are these 6 exchanges. Right. So this is the association of the devotees. And Prabhupada says, not only for devotees, for any activity, there is association. There is BNI group, then there is a Rotary Club, then there is FICCI, then there is, the stock market associations. So always the birds of same feather, they will flock together. Similarly, there will be association, and ISKCON facilitates association amongst the devotees, keeping Krishna in the center. And what is the result of such association? Conquering over jita-saṅga dosha. The result is devotee will be freed from the material contamination. Prabhupada says here. And then Prabhupada gives example. Prabhupada says, to be freed from material contamination means basically change of consciousness. We don't have to necessarily change the place, but it is change of consciousness. And Prabhupada gives example of the cat carrying the mouth of the cat, once carrying the kitten, and the cat is carrying the kitten, and the kitten is feeling the safety and the warmth and love of mother in the mouth, and the same cat carrying the rat and the rat is feeling the death blows in the mouth of the cat. Mouth of the cat is same for the kitten or a rat, but for one it is the safety, and for another it is death. Similarly, Prabhupada says sadhavas or the devotees engaged in Krishna consciousness do not feel the contamination of material miseries, although they are in the same mouth of the cat, but because they are devotees of the Lord, their minds are absorbed in Krishna. Somehow that entire positioning is transferred into warmth and safety. And therefore, Prabhupada says one should give up the association of materialistic person and seek the association of persons engaged in Krishna consciousness, which will benefit one's spiritual life. By their words and instructions, he will be able to cut off his attachment to material existence. Another thing is, when we meet devotees, and especially senior devotees or our facilitators, our shiksha gurus and others, one should be always in a position of receiving something unpalatable. It is very important. Many times, people just want to be surrounded by yes men, and we also feel very happy when somebody just says or speaks whatever we want to hear. And there is a tendency that we may also expect the same thing from our seniors as well. And especially when we ourselves become senior in devotional service, there is tendency that yes, maybe 20 saal se bhakti mein. And so one has to be very careful of this, that the words and instructions of a devotee, they will cut off the attachment. And cutting off anything means pain. And therefore one should take that, the pain also very positively in one's life. Okay. So next we come. This is the most celebrated verse, one of the best verses of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, text 25. We will only recite the verse today, and then we will go with the discussion tomorrow. Text 25. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido.
Tatam prasangam virya samvido
Bhavantiritkarna rasayana katha.
Bhavantirkarunarasayana katha
Ajoshanadashvapavargavartmani.
Ajoshanadashvapavargavartmani
Shraddharatirabhaktiranukramishati.
Shraddharatirabhaktiranukramishati.
So we'll just recite this one once more time. And we'll recite this in Gaurang Prabhu's tune. Okay, Gaurang Prabhu, how we'll recite this. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido.
Satam virya samvido
Bhavantiritkarna rasayana katha.
Bhavantirkarunarasayana katha
Ajoshanadashvapavargavartmani.
Ajoshanadashvapavargavartmani
Shraddharatirabhaktiranukramishati.
Shraddharatirabhaktiranukramishati.
Satam prasangat mama virya samvido. Devotees, they will come together to discuss my pastimes. Bhavanti, that becomes Rit Karna Rasayana Katha. It will become Karna Rasayan, it will become Hridaya Rasayan, that Katha. Tajjoshanad Ashva Apavarga Vartmani. Very soon they will be on the path. Ashu means very, very quickly. They will be on the path of liberation. And slowly Shraddha, Ratir, Bhaktir, Anukramishati. They will develop Shraddha, their faith will expand, Ratir, their attachment will expand, and their bhakti, devotional service also expand, Anukramishati in the sequence. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you,
Thank
Prabhupada.
you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Prabhupada.
everyone.
Hare
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Dana Pranam. Thank you.